Hey, this is Al McGee with your entertainment ticket. When the last time have you ever mentioned or even thought of Gary Hart? He was a 1987, 1988 senator who wanted to be president, but he had to quit his campaign because he had, relationships with a woman named Donna Rice. Last time you thought of that? Well, in today's climate, maybe you didn't, because it seems like everything is a go as a candidate these days. Well, this is what this movie is about, and it's called The Front Runner. It's about Gary Hart and what happened to his campaign at that time. And the reason it's called Front Runner, he was the front runner for the Democrats to be nominated to run against the Republican, whomever they chose at that time to run for the presidency. Well, what happened was, here's this guy 30 years ago. And remember, this was a different time back then, and the way people thought and the way people were thinking back then, totally different. But things started to change just a little bit. Remember, before that, the newspaper reporters would not report some of the discretions that the presidents had at the time, and some senators too at that time. Remember, even with Roosevelt, they would not even show him in his metal braces, or when Kennedy was president, they never reported about his discretions with women. Also, Lyndon Baines Johnson, they never talked about that either in the newspapers. But now this changed for Gary Hart. In fact, the newspaper people in this movie, they started to question him about his discretions. And what happened, they started to follow him and eventually found out that he was with Donna Rice, which is played by Sarah Paxton. And Hugh Jackman plays Gary Hart. And this is directed by Jason Reitman. You know, this is funny, though, this film. Jason Reitman is Canadian. Hugh Jackman is Australian. And it took these two people from different parts of the world to tell this story about a United States presidential potential candidate. I thought that's hilarious. That's why I'm bringing it to you. But anyway, Reitman, he revisits this story about Gary Hart. Maybe because of what's going on today. Remember, we got a president today that talking about grabbing the pussy. Back then, if you said that in 1988, 87, you would have been put in jail. Definitely. But again, like I said, the press hounded Gary Hart to find out the truth. And they did. But, you know, what can you say about this film? Is it an old story? Is this something you really should know about? Yeah, it's something you should really know about because it really shows what we Americans really thought of our candidates and how we wanted them to be A1 class acts, even though we know they were not, even though the press hid all of that. Because as a regular voter, a regular person, you'll never get that close to a candidate like a press person would. And that's why he's bringing this story out. I thought it was pretty good, but I just felt that, why? Because you can get a history book and see this. And I don't know if they wasted their time with this film, bringing it out, or is this film to remind us who we used to be? And I really didn't like what we used to be, because I'm an African American, and I don't want to be reminded of what we used to be. Also in this film, too, is Vera Farmiga. She plays Lee Hart. You know, the Harts are still married. No matter what he did, she still stayed by him. J.K. Simmons in this, too, as Bill Dixon. Alfred Molina as Ben Bradley. I always enjoy watching him. Sarah Paxton as Donna Rice. Caitlin Dever as Andrea Hart. Ari Grainer as Ann Devore. Mike Judge as Jim Savage. Toby Huss and Kevin Pollak. He's in this film too. I'm only going to give this film 2 palm trees. And I just thought it was okay. And why do I need to be reminded of this? And I don't want to go back to that. What about you? Go see the film for yourself and let me know what you think about it. The Front Runner, only 2 palm trees out of 4, average film. And thank you for watching my review. I really appreciate it.
You are watching YETicket.com with Al McGee. Movie reviews and interviews. This is YETicket.com. YETicket.com. Your entertainment ticket.
We are your entertainment ticket. That's right. YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket. That's right.